Good morning, pirate people. It's calendar week 33. Some more equal than others. Being a grandparent is the greatest thing. I was kind of young when I became a dad for the first time, and was, to be honest, still pretty young 2 years later for the second time. You're young, you're idealistic, not quite as wise as you think you might be, and kids are a lot of work. Mostly they eat constantly. You can't haggle them out of a meal because you have other things to do, like you can do with your own body. That's okay, I like cooking. The washing up it generates, though, oh my. And for the first year or so, we used cloth nappies. Yeah, idealistic and really dumb. Anyway, there are those who say that being an uncle or an aunt or a grandparent is great because you can give them back. Nah, I don't go for that. Sure, I don't necessarily want to be the one putting them back to sleep again when they wake up in the middle of the night. But I can't say with any great conviction that I wanted to do that 30 years ago either. It's an act of love, and you never run out of them. But the irresponsibility, which I think the hand them back thing is hinting at, is wonderful. You did your best as a parent, and while you can mortify yourself for days with every screw-up and failure and horrifying mistake that you made in their upbringing, while you could flagellate yourself with the birch of each and every mistake and inattention that you didn't do well enough, the kids really did turn out all right. Pretty damn awesome, to be honest. And mostly, if they get the sufficiency of hugs and praise and bowls of culinarily questionable gruel, they do most of the rest of it themselves. A parent's responsibility is more blind to this, and that's a good thing. Parents are the most important thing in the child's life. A grandparent doesn't come close to that. They, the parents, are supposed to be excessively attentive and worried and stressed all the damn time. That's why you do it when you're young enough to pull it off. A grandparent can be considerably more chill. Not because of the extra generational distance, and not just because we are somewhat failing in the youthful vigour required. There is a reason we're often depicted in rocking chairs. But because by now you've seen hundreds of kids growing up into adults, and you know it's going to be okay. All of which is to say, eldest daughter and grandchild came for a couple of nights, and I'm still not quite over the honour of being personally requested for the bedtime story. She wanted All Vie Schön ist Panama, which I read at least 200 times about 30 years ago, and haven't seen since. Time to go and bastle the Tiger enter. This week in the garden, there is plenty to be cracking on with. I've been thinking about the coverage of the grass enjoyed by the barracks. Until now, it's been a hugely important part of the Pull Down Carbons Grow the Soil project. Grass is very efficient at both, but it's not great for a warming climate. Burned grass sitting atop the virtually soil-free rocks of the barracks is about as irresilient as you can get. This week, I start the transformation of the Sportplatz into a beautiful Victorian arboretum. The first step is to convince the ground that it is in fact a forest and not a field. I'm going to mark out the islands of trees. If the ultimate aim is to have a mature, incredibly varied wooded area with beautiful swinging paths and open areas for the fire pit and the octo-yurt, then I think it's best to think of the tree concept as islands in the field, rather than thinking about where the paths go. Trees have a habit of getting really big. When they occupy an area, the negative space between them becomes the paths. Planning the paths first will ultimately have them disappear into irrelevance, I think. Let them appear through the absence of planting, rather than planting to them. For various reasons, there are many paths of branches scattered around the place here. Over winter, they are almost certainly refuges for sleepy critters, but they will have moved out by now. And don't worry, I am leaving the more mature hidey places intact. These are literally piles of branches lying around in the way because I didn't do anything with them at the time of their generation. They're all going to be shredded at the place where they're going to fall. In the autumn, I will sweep up all the maple leaves, which get dropped with the helicoptering whirlybird maple seeds, and dump them on top. Maple seeds are extremely keen on germinating, so I'll let these grow up as sacrificial weed trees to protect the slower growing oaks, beeches, birches and sweet chestnuts that I'm planning to actually grow here. It's going to look amazing in really not more than a couple of 100 years. And now, I really am racing towards the finish because once again I've left the constitution of this newsletter until way too late again. All 3 books from last week are excellent in different ways. Dried gooseberries are definitely not worth the effort. They have some novelty value, but they're not going to be a staple over the winter. We shall wait for the raisins or some almonds and prunes like normal people. I'm trying to prep the ground for this year's winter grain, oats it shall be, but it's hard dry going and I'm not enjoying it one bit. The potager looks awesome and I'm eating my own weight in beans and cabbages daily. The potatoes are coming off strongly and I'm on a daily cucumber, soon to be replaced by several courgettes. And that is all we have time for. If you're listening to this, which you are, thank you very much. It might sound a little rushed. I apologise. Much priority love. Honestly, seriously, be nice to each other, not just the people it's easy with. Your loving Pirate Ben. XO. XO.